Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me for the very first episode of a very queer book club. Today we are chatting with the cast of Love Victor about the brand new Simonverse novella Love Creekwood. And if you've not purchased your copy of Love Creekwood yet, you can do that by following the link down below or in my Instagram bio and purchase that from Karis Books and More in Atlanta, Georgia. And just so you know, this interview will include a few very minor Love Victor spoilers, so just be aware of that. It's nothing huge, so you don't need to worry if you're not super concerned about that. Anyways, I hope you enjoy, and this is the cast of Love Victor.
Well, hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Jacob. I really appreciate you all taking out time out of your day to join me. First things, just in case, this is, in case people haven't watched the show yet, can you just go around really quickly, tell me your names, your pronouns, and who your character is, just so we can kind of get an idea of that before we jump in?
Hi, I'm Michael Cimino, he, him, and I played Victor in the new Love Victor series.
Hi, I am BB Wood. My pronouns are she, her, and I play Lake.
Hi, my name is Isabella Ferreira. My pronouns are her, she, and I play Pilar.
Hi, I'm George Sear. My pronouns are he, him, and I play Benji in Love Victor.
Amazing. First thing I wanted to know is what was your first introduction or your first time you saw Becky Albertalli's work, whether it be the book or the movie, and what was that like?
Go ahead, Vivi, you go first.
Okay. I was aware of the book, and I hadn't read it, but I saw the movie first. I read the book, and then obviously Love Creekwood. So I've been a fan of her work for a while, and she has been a part of my world since the book came out.
Yeah, actually, for me, one of my friends had seen Love Simon in the movie theaters in the cinema, and he connected to the story so much that he went and watched it 3 more times. So that's the first time I heard about it, and I thought, wow, this sounds like, I had that impression of it. And then when we started, and then I wanted to save the film till after we had finished filming, because I had some weird superstition about, something.
Well, for me personally, one of my friends actually went to a performing arts school, and before the movie came out, they were holding a pre-screening at one of the theaters in my town, and I was really excited because it was like, oh yeah, it's like a premiere kind of thing. And she invited me, so I went and I saw it, and I was like in love with it. And Becky had sent me the book, so I was reading that while I was working on it.
And for me, I watched the movie when it first came out in the movie theaters, and I loved it. And then I watched it a whole bunch more in preparation for the show. So probably 16 times I've watched the movie. So
Well, and with all of that, was there anything else specifically that any of y'all did to familiarize yourself with the world? I mean, because not only is there the first book that she's kind of written, there's a whole Simonverse at this point, as people are calling it. Was there anything else that specifically you did to kind of prepare or get ready for the show?
I think that Becky is such a excellent writer. Her worlds are so vivid and colorful. And so just from seeing the film and then, reading the book, I feel like I had a good sense of what Creekwood was like. I haven't read Leah and the Offbeat, but I have it marked down as something I would like to read in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's definitely there's definitely a tone in the book where you feel like you're in the world of these high schoolers, and it's very much that's what I love about a good book, is when the world is there. you open the book, you start reading it, and you're back in like, oh, you're back with these characters. And I think that's what translated well into the movie. When I watched the movie as well, I thought like they kind of managed to get that same sort of tone in there somehow, which is a sign of a good adaptation, I think.
Yes.
I'm so sad I didn't have Oreos for like my binge day yesterday. But I did have iced coffee, so
We didn't have Oreos growing up. No, we didn't have them in the UK till like
Oh, really?
10 years ago or whenever. Yeah, I remember like my dad used to have to like sneak them onto the plane. They were like hot property.
Well, what is everyone's Oreo of choice then? Well, we're on that. I mean, there's double stuff. There's, I mean, what does everyone go
Double
for?
stuff, all the way. Double stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say double stuff for me. I'm a double
Classic.
stuff guy.
I like the classic.
I used to be a double stuff or even a mega stuff. But recently I've reverted to thins.
Mm-hmm.
Thins. Wow.
Mhm.
No one
Wow,
said,
George, you're so healthy.
no one said
I
the
know.
golden Oreos, so everyone will be on Becky's good side. So then what was, I mean, obviously you all kind of knew the world ahead of time, but what was it about this project specifically that kind of drew you to it? Was there anything other than knowing the world already?
I think that, at least for what drew me to Love Victor was that, it was such an incredibly written piece, and I knew that it could really change people's lives, and that's what really drew me to it. And, obviously I loved the movie already, and that really, I was like a fan of the movie, so that really drew me to it as well. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think what really drew me was it being a leading Latinx family. I think that was pretty amazing because obviously in like the Latinx culture, it's kind of like taboo to like talk about, LGBTQ, but I'm so glad that it's finally opening up and it's becoming more of a topic of discussion. And so I think that's definitely something that drew me to the project.
I agree with that. I'm half Cuban, and that's always a interesting point of discussion in my mother's side of the family. So that was something that drew me to Love Victor specifically. But I think honestly, I was just such a fan of Becky in the world. When I got that first email that said like Love Simon spinoff, I kind of like got very excited.
Well, then, I mean, because Michael, you said something actually that I have down for later, but I want to go ahead and bring it up. You mentioned kind of saving, the effect it can have and saving people's lives. And one thing I said is that I genuinely do think this show is going to save young people's lives. I know if I had this growing up, it would have been groundbreaking. And especially, I mean, specifically, I want to mention episode 8. There's something about episode 8 that really, I think, is going to really just have a big effect on people. And I want to know, is that something you knew? Did you feel that while filming that this was going to be something that special, or is it kind of been a surprise?
I think, I always kind of had like a feeling like that this project was really going to affect people like from the get. But I don't think that I knew how much it would, if that makes any sense. Like I literally have people writing me like the letter that I wrote to Simon in Love Victor, that Victor wrote to Simon in Love Victor. I have people writing me those letters and just like telling me their stories and like what's going on with them and like how much this show has like changed their life and how they're going to come out to their families, or if it's still still work in progress. And like that is like something that's like, holy crap, like that's amazing to see like how much it's affected them in such a short amount of time. Like it's only been out for not even 2 days. Like
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
And it's so
Yeah,
funny
it's
that you
crazy.
mentioned episode 8, because on Twitter yesterday, I asked everyone what their favorite episode was, and literally everyone said 8. Everyone said 8. And I was like, I mean, I agree. I completely agree. It was so cute. I loved it.
I think a lot of people are clinging to it's also a very nostalgic episode.
Yeah, Simon.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Are we
Definitely.
allowed to talk about like spoilers and?
Oh yeah, we're allowed to talk
Yeah,
about.
we can. Yeah. I mean, it's out now, right?
It's out. Yeah.
It's out.
I'm obsessed with episode 8 for many reasons, but Katya is one of them. 100.
Oh yeah.
Well,
That was one
By the way, Kata is so cool.
I asked actually
so dope.
some of my friends what they would ask you guys just to kind of get some other points of view. And one of my friends wanted to know, Michael, what working with Katya was like.
She was so dope, and like you know how like she is in the show? She was just like that, like in real life, like just like totally just like off the cuff, like was just like, wait, did they wind up putting the splits in? Did they put the splits in? I don't remember.
No, I don't.
Oh, so originally she did the splits when she walked out on stage, and then she got back up and was like, "Ooh, I pulled a hamstring," and they're like, it was so great. Like she was just like a showstopper.
I'm a huge fan of RuPaul's Drag Race, so that was one of the best days ever. Meeting Katya was I obsessed.
Well, and kind of going off episode 8, I wanted to know, Michael, what was it like? And I guess I don't know who else was around during that episode filming those scenes. What was it like working with some of the kind of OG Love Simon group? Well, and also not even just episode 8, but also I didn't know it was happening. But in episode 1, when Miss Albright popped up, I screamed.
Yeah,
One of the best characters in the movie. What was that like?
honestly, it was really incredible. You know, like getting to work with the cast that worked on the original movie was like, I don't know, it really like made me want to step up my game, you know, because they're all so good, and I felt like a responsibility to continuously carry the torch in a way that, you know, paid homage to the movie, because like that movie was so freaking good. Like I had to like, you know, there's a standard to it with like uphold when we were doing this for sure.
Well, you definitely did, mate.
Thank you.
One thing I want to know, and this is just, you know, for fun, I want to know, you personally and also with your characters, who would you be friends with from the original Love Simon series, and who would your character be friends with from the original? And I know that's easier for you, Michael, because your character did interact with them. But like, you know,
Yes.
the Becky's world is
Ooh, that's a
so
good question.
expansive at this point, and who would you kind of cling to?
Okay, I think in real life, probably I would be friends with Bram and Simon. I think those are like my type of people for sure. And I was like also really good friends with Kian as well. So like in real life, because like we just got so cool, and same with Nick. So, but yeah, that would probably be my answer.
I think Lake would really enjoy Leah's energy. I feel like they share some energy similarities. I think in life I would probably be friends with Bram.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely in real life, I'd definitely be friends with Bram. And I think Milad would be friends with Abby. I think she's also kind of like feisty in her own way. She's really cool.
I don't really know, but I guess Benji would probably be friends with. Well, I think he could get on with most people, but
Yeah.
maybe I don't know. I mean, this is music.
I like how serious you're taking it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, what would happen? Maybe we need to ask Becky and see if she can write something, some backstory thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I'll leave that one down to her.
Love Creekwood is coming out on June 30th, which is very exciting, and you have it. Do you feel like it did a good job kind of tying in her world into this new world? Because I know Becky like didn't really have a whole lot of writing to do with you know, Love Victor, but like it's definitely her world, and so I want to know like what your thoughts are now, having looked at the novella, kind of how it tied in, and do you think it worked? Do you think it was good?
I mean, I loved the book. It was so fun to sort of hop back into that world, and I think it does a great job of sort of filling in the gaps, and sort of, I don't know, letting fans know or readers know how Simon, how Bram, how they ended up in New York, and sort of how they adjusted from high school to college, and with that information, I think the show will make a lot of sense. And it would make sense without that information, but it's it's almost just like
Makes it
like
rich.
little treasures. Like you know all of the information, so it makes Love Victor even better knowing that information, I think.
I agree, and I think it was also really fun that they added in like Abby and Leah's story and like how they're also adjusting with like college life and things like that. And so you basically just get to go on the journey with the four like main friends, and it's really fun. And I think it was a great book. So
Yeah. Well, and I, like with that, because I know Becky was on set for a couple days. Was there anything that kind of was in this that she told y'all beforehand, or was there anything that she kind of told you that were secrets? That, I mean, not that like Snape or Alan Rickman being told about Snape. Was there any secrets like that she got to tell you guys that?
I think, you know, her main thing was, and it was so lovely and fantastic and infectious to see, but she was just so utterly joyous and proud, I feel like, when she was there, to see the aftermath of something she'd written. I tweeted during the premiere of the show, like, Simon is speaking. I repeat, he is speaking. This is not a drill. And I think she replied, and she was like me sitting in front of my Google Doc in 2013. And so I think it was just really exciting for her to see everything sort of come to life.
Yeah, I wasn't even supposed to be on set the day that she came by, but I just happened to like join my friend who was on the Paramount lot for something else. So I was like, oh, I'll come with you, and you know, we'll visit set and make a thing of it. And it was great. It just was like one of those amazing coincidences that she was there as well, because I was so glad I got to meet her. She was so lovely and so nice. We didn't talk about like any of the backstory stuff or anything about Creekwood, but she just was so nice. She was so lovely, and yeah, I'm so glad I got to meet her, because I haven't, you know, it just was great.
We didn't get to discuss any like secret stuff about you know, like the Love Creekwood universe, but we did get to just like kind of just like chat, and I got to know her a lot better, and she's so freaking sweet, dude. Like she was just so nice to me, and this is like, you're doing a great job, and I'm so excited to be here, and I got you a book, and it was just like so nice, and she was just incredibly sweet to me.
She's one of the nicest people in the entire world.
So sweet.
Absolutely. Why do you think stories like this are important to get, whether it be the book Love Creekwood or Love Simon or Simonverse the Homo Sapiens Agenda or the TV show? Why do you think it's so important to get these stories into young people's hands? Because at the end of the day, like, it was a young adult book that was made for high school students. The world has kind of latched onto it, but like, why is it important for those people, do you think?
Representation is really important. Seeing yourself in a character that is being broadcast to many people is like the biggest sense of catharsis I think one could have. That's an important thing. Like sharing these stories that mean so much with people who, you know, may not have been interested in a story like this prior. You know, I think that's another lovely element about it as well. But I think seeing someone like yourself go through similar things to, you know, your own self, it's an important thing.
And I think like you said, like if I would have grown up with a show like this, I think things would have been a lot different, especially like within my friend group and just like my family in general. Being able to see something like this on TV when I was younger, you know, things definitely would have changed, like, you know, with the energy and just like what thoughts on things and stuff. So I think it's amazing, obviously.
I agree with you on that one for sure.
Yeah, and I think to piggyback off of BB's point, like I think, you know, being part of the LGBT community is not something that like runs in your blood. You know, it's like being Latino is like, oh hey, like this is a set of issues that will always follow you no matter where you go, because of the color of your skin or because the way you look, because of what ethnicity you are. But when you are born and you are part of the LGBT community, usually no one else in your family is part of that. And so it's kind of hard to understand what's going on, especially if like people in your family are uncomfortable talking about it. So I think having stories like these kind of give a roadmap for people to understand how to navigate the world when they are part of it,
Well, and off of
and
that,
understand that it's completely normal as well.
right.
That's
right.
like a thing that's like very important.
Off of that, and this is actually a question that originally came up for BB. You've actually now been on 3 of some of my favorite queer shows after Love Victor. So is that something that kind of is you were drawn to, you know, queer storytelling? And I mean, that can go for everyone. Is queer storytelling something you're really interested in?
I mean, funnily, I think it's mainly a coincidence. But I mean, it isn't necessarily a coincidence to me. I owe everything to the LGBTQIA community. You know, I was raised and influenced by, you know, friends of my parents and family members who are members of, you know, the community, and I wouldn't be who I am without that community. So in a way, it's a coincidence, but it also feels like a thank you, just because I do owe so much. Like, I don't know, I owe so much to you know, the community and these people in my life who I love very much.
For me personally, I think, you know, ultimately, a good story trumps all. But for me personally, I feel like, you know, I do want to tell stories that need to be heard. And right now, stories like this one, stories about the LGBT community, need to be heard. And kids need to understand that, kids and adults need to understand that this is completely normal. This is completely normal. And, you know, helping people understand that is vitally important to making a change. And I think providing perspective is very important, and that's what we do as artists, is try to provide as much perspective as possible. And so with that, the show is a great way to show a different story through a different lens, or like a similar story through a different lens, more so, because, you know, Victor's of a different economical class, different ethnicity. So I think that those are all things that play really, really well into this. And obviously Becky did a great job of creating this beautiful universe to inspire a lot of young kids to be who they truly are.
Well, that's even something that I love that the show actually even kind of hits on, is like, this is not your story, Simon. This is, I'm very different. So I think that kind of hammers that home really, really well.
Definitely.
Yeah. Like being an actor, like, you know, sometimes the jobs are few and far between, right? So when you get to play a character that people actually, it means something to someone and they see themselves in that character and connect to it, that's a really beautiful thing, and something that, you know, you feel quite proud when you get these messages from people that say such lovely things. And yeah, it's I just feel really like grateful to have that, you know, to experience that.
For sure. And I mean, I think it's really empowering to be a part of something that's going to impact so many lives. And, you know, a story like this, a story like Victor's, and a story like Simon's, and basically to just let everyone know that everyone's story is different, you know, no 2 stories are the same. And I think that's really important for people to know.
And so one thing I kind of wanted to chat about was a lot of the work that you guys had done in the past is either, you know, some of it has been very original and some of it has been based on things that have, like, books, like Orange is the New Black that you worked on was based on a book, but also like The Real O'Neills that maybe like it was like original. So like this is kind of a weird hybrid, I feel like, of the two, where it's technically a very original work, but it's still based in a world that art. And so what was that like, kind of creating something original in this already established world?
I think,
okay, go ahead, Bibi, go ahead.
I was just going to say, from like a fan's perspective, it was just kind of fun to be able to live in this universe. You know, I didn't ever think, I actually auditioned for the film Love, Simon. And I never thought, you know, after seeing the movie or reading the book, I was auditioning, by the way, I was very young. I was like 13 at the time, and I was auditioning for like the little sister. But I never thought that I would be like walking the halls of Creekwood. And here we are, you know? So it was fun because you have creative freedom in a way, because these characters are not established, but you're in a world that you know. So I feel like it makes you more comfortable to play with who your character is, because you're comfortable in the environment that is surrounding you, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, like what Baby said, I think every fan's dream is to keep like a world going and to keep a story going. And I'm glad that, you know, we're able to bring a story, although it's a different story, to bring it to life. And it's like, it's a very proud moment for me specifically. So, yeah.
I think for me personally, it was a really like interesting concept, you know, to have a completely, you know, different take on a similar story to like in the same universe, but like with different characters, but still interact with the original characters. I just thought that it was like all really well done, but like never done before. So that's why it was like, this is really sick.
You know, obviously you all have read, you know, the original books, but I want to know, are there any other books, whether they're queer or not, that you read when you were in high school or when you were younger that, you know, had the effect that you're hoping that this has on other people?
I sort of recently read a book, actually, when Becky came to visit. We had an extensive conversation on this book by Jessie Burton, and it's called The Miniaturist. And as I age, I'm always fascinated hearing different and new perspectives on womanhood and what that is. And the book takes place in 1686. And it's about a young woman sort of moving to Amsterdam because she's just sort of been given away to marry this 39-year-old, and she's 17. And she's just kind of dealing and figuring out what being a woman is like, and it just it affects, it's impactful, it's moving, and I appreciate hearing the characters experience as I sort of navigate my own version of that. Obviously I'm not getting married to like a 39-year-old man or living in 1686, but like that's precisely why I find it so interesting. And so that heavily affected me. I think it's one of my favorite books I've ever read. And it's just beautifully written.
I read all the Harry Potter books and was a massive Potter fan, and reread them probably about 3 times actually in the end. So those stories meant a lot to me as a kid. That was, I think, the first book I ever actually read was the 7th Harry Potter book. So I started right at the end, and then I went back to the first one. But they had a big impact on me.
Mm-hmm. And like on that, I mean, this was obviously a great Love Victor ensemble TV show. Are there any other ensemble TV shows that, you know, have kind of stuck out with you in terms of having the same impact that you think that this hopefully will?
I'm a huge fan of One Day at a Time.
Oh my God, Phoebe, I was literally just about to say
It's so good. It's so good.
I'm a huge fan of One Day at a Time, and so is my entire family. I feel like we're like, yay, a Cuban family on TV. And obviously, I mean, Elena's like whole storyline, you know, with Sid and sort of like figuring that out. I mean, it's so well done, so well written. I worked with Gloria, who created it, and we keep in touch. And I think she's just another excellent female writer who she's so utterly talented and provides such perspective, as Michael was saying earlier.
And I think that show is such a good also example of weaving into intersectionality of some different people. So I'm glad that you brought that. I love that show.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I should watch this. Sounds good.
You need to. It's so great.
And I think they're getting a new season somewhere. Because
Yeah.
But they're postponing filming just because of the COVID thing. Like Gloria's like, I don't want to be like, we are housing a national treasure, Rita Moreno. Like we have to be careful. And yeah, so, but I'm very excited for the new season.
I actually auditioned for the new season. I was gonna play Alex's girlfriend. I got like a callback and I got really close, but I guess they were like, oh, never mind. But
Actor's life. Congrats on
One
the
really
callback,
good show for me that stuck out recently was oh gosh, the morning show. That was such a good freaking show. And like it kind of it dabbles with perspective so well in a way where it's like it talks about the point of view of a man that took advantage of a woman, but also like unknowingly, but he took advantage of her nonetheless. And it also shows the perspective of multiple women that he did take advantage of. And so it was an amazing perspective to see, because you know, when he comes into this realization of like, oh my gosh, I did do this to these women, he still has a hard time accepting it, because it's like, I mean, who wants to accept that you take advantage of women? And so I felt like that was like a really great show, and kind of offers a lot of perspective to men who are possibly not the best people, to be honest.
Coming back to, Love Victor and Love Creekwood, what is one thing that you, as either actors or just human beings, are going to take from having worked on this show, or having read, this novella, or read the book, for the rest of your lives? What is one thing, that you've learned or will take with you?
I think the main message in it is really like acceptance and be yourself. I think that is really like the main message, and accepting of yourself and accepting of others. And I think that's a great message to take away from it.
I got a second George on that one, because definitely I feel like the overarching theme of our show, and also love Simon, is just to be who you are authentically, and eventually you will find that being who you are, even if you wind up, like hitting a couple bumps in the road on the way, is way more rewarding than trying to be someone that you're not.
Right, and I think specifically for me, just not comparing myself to other people's stories or just lives in general. I feel like, especially when I was younger, I used to always compare myself to other people and like what they were doing with their life and what's going on, like, and why isn't my life the same, which I obviously shouldn't have been doing. So like everyone's saying, like acceptance and just like, knowing that everybody's story is different. So
I agree. And if we're talking from like a filming perspective, all of us were working a lot. So I definitely took some organizational skills away from the project that I didn't have before. So I value that as well.
And then also, other than obviously everyone really enjoyed when Becky came to visit, but I'd love to hear just some other, fun memories of, working on the show, because I think so many people just love hearing about behind the scenes stuff. So, I mean, were there any other fun, really memorable things that kind of happened while filming?
Big Bear.
I knew that was coming up.
Big Bear.
Big Bear.
And David will be like, oh, of course. One of the writers.
Oh my
on the
gosh,
show.
David!
He's always like being like,
my picture
Big Bear, because we spoke about it so much.
But yeah,
But
That was a fun time.
We went on a cast vacation to Big Bear, California, and we stayed in a cabin in the woods, and we just ran amok and
hung out in the hot tub for a majority of the whole trip.
Yeah.
And took turns cooking.
Yep, took turns cooking.
You made your pasta.
Oh my goodness, I miss Big Bear.
You made a mess in the kitchen as well.
Yeah, we did. We really messed up that kitchen, like real bad.
Speak for yourself, man.
Hey, listen.
But it was like, yeah, there was so many great memories. There was like, the whole experience was amazing. I mean, personally, it was, one of the best things I've ever been a part of, and yeah, it was great, and miss all the guys.
For my curiosity, so they recreated basically Grady High School in California, because Grady High School is where they filmed Love Simon. So, because I literally was talking to a friend earlier today that was like, this was filmed in Atlanta. I'm like, no, it wasn't. He goes, no, that's Grady High School. Because I'm from Atlanta. That's where so like when the movie came out, I was like, oh, that's all those places. So it's fascinating. So interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing Becky was, sort of surprised about when she came, because the big chunk of the high school is just built on a stage in Hollywood. And she walked in and she was like, where am I? And yeah, it was a pretty incredible set, actually. It was
Yeah,
to say the least. Incredible
Sure.
to say the least.
That's one thing I never really got used to, like being able to go to work every day and then see this huge soundstage outside, and then when you go inside, it's like a whole different world, and you're like, what? Like where? How?
Yeah.
it's also
Like-
very cold.
Oh yes, very cold.
Was it cold?
Do you not remember?
Yes, George.
Oh,
do you
yeah,
not
yeah.
remember how cold it
It
used to
wasn't in
get?
the school.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah.
It used to get ice cold in the coffee shop too, though. Actually, and then it used to get boiling hot. It was,
Yeah.
temperature regulating on a soundstage is not easy.
Go for it. Ask away.
Oh,
No,
I want to
please
know,
ask away while it's
because
there.
I have a feeling we will still, when this comes out, be dealing with some of these issues. What are you guys doing to kind of go off of, away from Love Victor, to stay joyful and cheerful in quarantine? What are you doing to keep your time occupied?
Yeah. Well, most definitely probably still be dealing with these issues.
Yes.
I have a lot of dance parties. When in doubt, dance. I like to swing dance by myself, I'll hold on to like a door handle, which is, I'm sure, a sight to see. Luckily, I'm alone.
Yeah.
I go on lots of bike rides, runs, so I could get out anxious energy. Cook and read.
Yeah.
Play music.
Yeah.
Music for me. Music, a lot of music.
He's like, reading.
I'm reading as well. I'm reading at the moment. I'm reading The Talented Mr. Ripley. So there you go. Music and reading.
Being able to spend time with my family is really fun. I mean, we have like daily movie nights where we'll just pick a movie and just watch and like make snacks and make cookies and stuff. And I have my dog, so I spend time with her, so love her.
No, yeah, for me, I think it's been a lot of music. I've been trying to get into writing. It's very difficult. So just like doing like those sort of things, just like trying new things. And also spending time with my family. I got another dog, so because I have a problem. I have 4 animals. It's a problem of mine. One of them is sleeping on my bed. I'm gonna just grab her really quickly.
Best Zoom intro is they kind of come into the screen. Oh, amazing! Here we go.
Yep, there she is.
There we
This is
go.
Bean.
It's
That's
just
socks.
Oh my
That's
Wow.
Charlie.
I need to go get
So
my
Bean has
cat.
socks.
Okay, please go do it.
I wish I had that.
Look, she doesn't look very happy with me, but she loves me very much. I promise.
This is the one that doesn't bite, right?
Yeah, my other cat, Bagheera, bites me bad. Like she'll,
Oh, I know.
if you like pet her, she's like all cool for like 2 minutes, and then she just bites you like crazy and like scratches you. But I still love her very much. Hey, kitty.
I love it. I love the animals. Well, I really, really appreciate you guys taking time to talk with me. Last thing, I know we talked a lot about kind of what you're hoping people take from the show, but like if there's just like 1 or 2 words, if you could break it down to like 1 or 2 words, just what you hope this show brings people, and what would those be? Just to kind of take us off. Just 1 or 2 words.
Love yourself.
Comfort and joy.
Empower and discover.
Acceptance and love.
I love that. Thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate this.
Thank
you.
you.
Say goodbye.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Great talking.
Bye.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. That was the cast of Love, Victor. Again, if you need to purchase a copy of the book, you can find the link down below. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, share it all over social media, and follow me on Instagram at A Very Queer Book Blog. Next week, we're sitting down with the Trevor Project, and then later in the month, we're sitting with Becky and some young people and a couple other fun people. So that's all for today, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks so much. Bye.